during the transatlantic slave trade. Or through colonialism and neocolonialism in the present day. This is what Colombia's new and first Black Vice President, Francia Mascos, has referred to as an economic model of death. All of us that are building cooperatives are part of an economic model of life, and we need each other, especially in Black communities. That is why we are calling together all those elements in the Black communities across the diaspora that are grounded in the cooperative traditions of collective ownership and collective work that kept our ancestors alive and that we carry with us today. By deepening our connections with each other, we aim to make our cooperatives, organizations, and our communities stronger and more resilient. Last year, we came together and did a lot of internal work to build a democratic structure. We are carrying that work into this new year and aim to soon begin taking on new members. Our steering committee members are from the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. And we have settled on 4 pillars of work throughout this year, which includes 1, growing resources for Black cooperatives, 2, develop education and training opportunities for Black cooperatives, 3, mapping the global Black co-op ecosystem, 4, deepening relationships among Black cooperatives. We also focus on capacity building initiative that enhances our ability to develop tools and best practices, educational material, workshops, and technical assistance. We would like to appreciate Omar Frelia, who is the co-founder and coordinator of the collective diaspora for his hard work, as well as all the collective diaspora members for their support. We also want to acknowledge one of us who recently passed away. May his soul continue to rest in peace, and is no other than Ibrahim, who was one of our members. And I would like to go to Banker Ladies Council. Banker Ladies Council is a group of women, mostly Black women, and it is in Canada. Our mission is to educate, inspire, and advocate for Roscas, to be a resource for the Black-led Roscas in Canada. We are seeking ways to create fair and equitable services to members of the Black community. We are creating a federation to foster collaboration, increase social impact, and amplify the voices of Black-led Roscas across Canada. All of the members of the Banker Ladies Council self-identify as Black, feminist, Black women, and some racialized women. And we are guided by Black feminist theories of intersectionality and lived experiences of being working class and immigrants in some cases. And I would like to acknowledge Dr. Caroline Shenice Hussein, who is spearheading this initiative and working with all of us. We are women, some of us are executive directors, some of us are in different fields. And we started the Banker Ladies Council since 2020, and we are growing in membership. And we are still looking for some members to join us, to join the council. And today we are going to hear from some of us who will be speaking tonight. and I think they are all here. And Andrea is the executive coordinator, executive director for the council, working closely with Dr. Hussein and all of us. So my sisters from the Banker Ladies Council, welcome to this forum, and we are looking forward to hearing from you, telling the world about the work the council is doing to advance the Black communities and the work that we are doing as Black feminist women. So over to you all. We are looking forward to hear from you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Esther. That was a fantastic introduction. Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to be here. Omar and everyone that's a part of Collective Diaspora, we thank you for inviting us to join you in conversation. We're grateful to be here, and we're looking forward to answering any questions you have about the Banker Ladies Council, what we are currently doing, and what is in our immediate future. There's a lot of synergy and alignment based on the introduction that I heard earlier. We believe in economic power. We believe in mutual aid. We believe in cooperative. We believe in the power of collectives coming together and moving us forward. As Esther mentioned, tonight you'll be hearing from some of the members of the Banker Ladies Council. We are here in Canada, so we are coming from you live in Canada. And we, as she mentioned, are a group of 10 fabulous women who have come together under the guidance of Dr. Caroline Shanaz Hussein. We, just like Esther mentioned, come from various backgrounds, various parts of the cities, various levels of participating in Roscas. Some of us are banker ladies. We're the ones who hold the money or hold the pot. Some of us are bankers or participants and users of a Rosca system. So before we get too deep into the conversation, I want to make sure that my fellow banker ladies have a chance to introduce yourself. So Esther mentioned, my name is Andrea Barrett. I have been a part of a Rosca, and I've also been a banker lady. I'm going to turn this over to my colleague, Mabinti, so she can introduce herself. So we'll all go around introducing ourselves, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about what the Banker Ladies Council is doing, our plans for the future, and then we're happy to answer any of your questions. Mabinti, over to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mabinti Bangura. I've been with the Banker Ladies for so many years. So nice to meet you. I'm happy to meet with you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, pass it back to you.
Floydine, I'll turn it to you. Floydine, I think you're there, but you're on mute. I think we're having a technical difficulty, but
maybe Andrea, you can move to another person while we wait for them.
Yes. All right. Is there another banker lady on the line that wants to say hello and introduce themselves?
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi. Hi,
Hello.
Asha. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, and hello, everybody, and it's good evening. And my name is Asha Muhammad, and I think the people starting this program, and it's Roscoe and the Headbed Lady. And then I think right now it's 3-4 years and this program. And this program is starting about, it's a group of women. And then Caroline Hussein, she's teaching my daughter about the master degree about the York University. That's why my daughter get that program. And then after that, I involved with this. And that's why I want to join today to answer question if they question me. And thank you, everybody. And I'm here. And welcome, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. And Floydine, are you there? Do you want to jump in and introduce yourself? Floydine may be having some technical difficulties. So I will let you know that here in Canada, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, we were 10 women living our own lives, doing our own things at school or at work or in life. And then we came upon a wonderful human, Dr. Caroline Shanaz Hussein, who was doing research. She's been doing research for over 10 years on mutual aid and ROSCAs, ROSCA, Rotating Savings Credit Associations. So depending on what part of the world you're from, we call it something different. So I come from a Jamaican family. My mom and dad immigrated from Jamaica to Canada. And back home, what we call a ROSCA, or what the academic term of a ROSCA is, my mom and dad called a partner hand. I know that Mabinti calls it something else, Aisha calls it something else, Floydine calls it something else. So 10 women all doing the same sort of cooperative, informal banking, a way to save money, where we're coming together as a collective. Everyone is contributing their money. So we collect money and we're taking turns distributing it amongst the group. The academic term is ROSCA. So as I mentioned, it's ROSCA, Rotating and Savings Credit Association, but we all call it something different. Mabinsi, what do you call it?
Susu.
Susu. So I'm sure there are people on the line who are familiar with the word susu or ususu. Aisha, what do you call it?
We call Hagbut.
Hagbut. So there could be people on the line familiar with that. We know that in Guyana, it has a different name. In South Africa, it has a different name. It's called chit. It's called stockvel. It's called pardna, susu, different names depending on where you come from. But the one thing, that's right, I see Melody, I see that. In Puerto Rico, it's called colecta. Different names, but really it's the same thing. We are primarily women right around the world, empowering ourselves and creating informal ways of doing banking. We take our money, we find our group, our tribe, our sisters, our neighbors, our friends. We come up with a goal. We want to save money. Everyone takes turns contributing to the pot. So I've been in partners that have been as small as 8 and as large as, I'd say, about 12. Mabinsi, what size partner or susu groups have you been in?
I've been with 12.
12. 12 is the largest?
Yeah. And
what
the
is the smallest?
the largest was B20, but since the COVID, some people drop out.
Right. Okay. And Aisha, what size? What is the largest and what is the smallest?
And the largest is 20 people, and it's too much. Sometimes it's 14 people because year and 2 months, 14 months.
Here in 14 months, right?
Yeah.
So in the partners or the ROSCAs that I've been a part of, the amount that people contribute can range. It can be as small as $25 a month, or it could be as large as $1,000 per month. It all depends on the group that you're in and what your goals are. What I like about this informal way of banking, and I'm so grateful that this is something that comes from our history and our culture, is this informal way of banking is cooperative. It's so different from what we do here in Canada in our traditional forms of banking. We stress working together, working in harmony, and helping one another. So through mutual aid and cooperativism, it's not every woman for themselves. You are helping your neighbor, you are helping every single person in your group. So imagine you have a susu group of 15 people. Those are 15 people that you are all working together. So if I'm one of 15, there are 14 ladies in this group, in this circle, in this ROSCA that we are working to helping. Everyone is contributing their amount of money, and then every week or every month, someone gets a hand. Imagine you're in a ROSCA or you're in a partner or a susu, and the collection or the pot is $1,000. $1,000 that you need to buy a new car, to repair a car, to send a child to post-secondary. to buy a piece of equipment for school, or because a family member is getting married. By participating in this Rosca and getting your turn or your hand, you're able to do things at that time that you wouldn't be able to do. So we find that this form of informal banking that has been going on for years and years and years is used by a wide range of people from different economic backgrounds, different education backgrounds, different socioeconomic status. The one thing that is in common is that it's mutual aid, it's cooperativism, it's working as a group instead of working for one and as an individual. Mabinti, do you want to give an example of some experiences you've had with your Rosca?
Yeah, my Rosca, when I started since back home, I was young and it helped my mom, it helped my family. So when I came back here, it do a lot for me. I start Osusu, I tell people about Osusu, my neighborhood, my friends, anybody I meet in the school, because I was taking some class when I just came. I was in ESL class. Then I tell people about Osusu. So I have a lot of people join. Then when we start like because we are new people, we start like a $50 to get a trust. So as time's going, we get used to each other. Then we start going up. That time we have Ghanaian, Nigeria in the school, Somalians. So we start going like a 200. And then until we separated in the school, I came to my community. So was doing like before COVID, was doing like a 500 per month. Every month, we give one person. Every month, like a 500. Like that time was like we are 20 people. So that money we use it to pay the school. For me, then the balance money I was using, because before back home, I don't have no place for my parents. So I send it to make a place for my parents the first month. Then I was doing that until I finished. Then my kid came now. They have to go to college. So I didn't make them to take WhatsApp for the moment for the first year and second year. I was trying the Osusu. That the way I came to be Osusu, and I love it. I will continue Osusu. It helped a lot. Just have a connection. Just try to meet people. Just try to make friends, and just find out the people you're gonna connect with, and you will know them. When you know them, you start business with them. That's the way Osusu go.
Good. So did I hear you say you use your Susu to help send your kids to school for post-secondary education?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did.
Good. So for everyone watching, Mabinti mentioned something called OSAP. So in Canada, OSAP is a form of a loan that if you need to go to post-secondary and you don't have the funds, you go and you get a loan. So she is saying through participating in her Osusu, she was able to save up enough money so she did not have to take a loan. No loan means no interest payments, and that means no debt. You are empowered, you found the money yourself, and you did this as a collective. So the group that she was in helped her save enough money that she could send her kids to school. Yeah. I see that we have another banker lady on the call, Juliet and Floydine. If you are there, we would love to say hello.
Yeah. Juliet, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go?
Go. I see you, Floydine. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I am Floydine Charles Friedel, also a member of the Banker Ladies Council. And what else would you like me to say, Andrea? Should you want me to talk about anything? Or?
Yes. So tell us what you call this form of mutual aid. What is your colloquialism for it? Where ethnically, where are your grandparents from? And give us an example of how you've used Rosca.
Okay, so we call it Susu. I am of Spanish and Trinidadian lineage, mostly Spanish from the Moors, in particular on my paternal side. I have known about Susu for as long as I've known about money. because, for example, all of our trips, all of our vacations, that's how they were paid. My mother has been in a susu for as long as I know of. And then in our family, I had three siblings, and all of us grew up as adults and ended up in the same susu that my mother was in when we were children. I have built my entire life around susu. I paid for our wedding was paid for with susu money. My car was purchased with susu money. My mother paid for our education with susu money. And that's out of country. I buried one of my siblings with susu money, and also renovated our home with susu money, and just being involved and started to work with other women who I recognized were challenged with financially, and we started a $10 a week susu, because of course you all know this is built on trust. And so after the first round, people were like, well, we want to put in more money, and we started to grow that way. And the whole idea, I think, that we have been trying to promote about susu is that even if you're financially secure, people are still involved in susu, because some people don't understand it in a way that we do, where they think it's like for people who are of a different socioeconomic status. So I am involved in, just the last thing I'll say, in different ones. I do a monthly susu where there are only 6 people in that. Then I am also involved in one at work, because we believe that the staff should also have opportunities to be, to have this type of opportunity to do things, because they also have young children. And then I have a susu that I'm in a susu that I call my play money susu. So I just use that money when I get my turn to do whatever I want. But and that's basically it. I would encourage everybody and anybody to do this. And then we started something called Patty and Cocoa Bread for children, for young people, to help young children learn about how to dominate money from a very young age, starting with like a toonie, and so that they get into understanding how to build financial wealth and security without having to rely on the banking system and the way that it's defined through capitalism. I'm complete. Thank you.
Yes, I love that. I love that. You're working with kids, you're teaching them young. You learned young because you learned through your mom, and you use it for all sorts of things, including Floydine's own play money. I like that. So it's the power of susu and being able to do whatever you want to do. You have that control, and you're doing it as a collective. Yeah. Juliet, are you there? Do you want to say hi? Or I can jump over to Aisha, and you can tell us how you use what do you call it, and how do you use it?
Hello, everybody. And we call susu, but it's hagbet. This hagbet, and we starting because my mom and my family, they back home, Somalia, they do that for that. But Somalia, many things, but it's the biggest name is hagbet. We call Ayuto, and Ayuto means Somalia colonized Italy. We call Ayuto and hagbet. And because Somalia, North and South, we are different sometimes language. And then when we came here, we see the situation. We are as a mom, no family member is there. Then we starting to collecting and hagbet. And then one person, and that person is responsible. That best person responsible for 10 people. Those 10 people, you have to be it's not everybody joining and hagbet. And the people is coming hagbet, you have to be this person is a good person. You have to pay on time the money. If that person is no credit, we can't take it. We said that we can't take you, or we give you last, because the last is the last person. All the money we're collecting, and we give you the last. Then after that, and the money we used to mostly, and some people they pay and mortgage houses. Some people they pay for the credit loan, credit card, debit, debt, but my children and right now they finish mostly school. I put Hagbet. The reason I put the Hagbet because they take the awesome. That's why I tell them every month pay 250. That 250 I put the Hagbet, and then when 7,000, 8,000, you have to give the government. You have to be clear out your debt. That's why right now my two children is finished for the debt about the OSAP, because I don't want much interest for the it's collecting, and because interest is my religion is haram. That's why I'm fighting for those kids how to clean up the OSAP money. The other thing is, and some people they take the houses, and when they take the houses every year, they take 10 people, and each person is $1,000. At $10,000, you have to take the $10,000 or 12 people to $12,000. You have to put your mortgage, because you have to be, and put your mortgage, your bank. And some people, and they have the business. The business lady, Somali business lady, they said that some, 10 people, we give this person, and you have to go out, you have to go Dubai, you have to go India, you have to buy some stuff about the business. Next month, we give this one. That's why Hagbet is useful to my community. Mm-hmm. And when I came here, I don't know the people if they know Hagbet, but I asked many people, I said that, do you know? They said that, I know Italian women, they said that we call aiuto. And I said that we call aiuto too, and we call Hagbet. That's why this is the international, but the woman is a own bank. And I'm the responsible of these 10 women. They come to me every month in my house, they drop the money, and then we have the list. Okay, number one, this one, number two, this one. That's why until we finish, 12 people or 14 people finish, then after that we starting other one. Right. Maybe some people they can do more. They said that $1,000 is too much for me. Then we have to break down. I said that, okay, how much you afford? She said that maybe 500. And I said that, okay, bring the 500 and I will bring it other people 500. Then I put $1,000. When the money is coming, we have to be divided as two people. Right. That's why Hagbet is a useful thing. We did the Eid time about the celebration. We take a youth, we give the kids the nice clothes they want. We buy the jewelry, we buy this. Those money is ayuto, it's Hagbet. It's not, it's not the loan for the bank. It's not, and someone to borrow, but that's money you collecting. That's why you're earning. That's why you're earning. Yeah. Yes. Some women they put the husband is called but those men is maybe it's a truck driver, maybe it's a taxi driver. Then when the money is big, 2-3 times is coming, he has to buy their own truck. That's right. He has to buy the own tax. That's why Hagbet is useful. That's why it doesn't matter if you can't afford $1,000, $500. If you even afford $250, I have to find out. Some people can't afford that. Okay, do you afford $250? That $250 and $250, 4 people $250. I want to make $1,000.
Yes, that's right. So Aisha just gave a good example. So we just saw a contrast between her example and what Floydine said. Floydine said she is in.
Yeah, some people they afford, some people they can't. That's why we have to. I don't want these people left alone, feeling I can't afford and I can't go. I said no, you can go, you can do it. But $250, I have to ask the other 3 people. Okay, do you offer $250? Then that 4 people is $250, it's $1,000. That's why mostly ayuto we call like that, but it's useful. It's your money, no interest in your hand. You can't go to the bank. You can't ask the bank, oh, I need the money. It's no questions. That's why it's useful. And Black women is right now, I will appreciate Roscoe, we did as right now international. I hope we have to open our bank. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was excellent. So Aisha said some very interesting things, and I hope you saw like a contrast between what Floydine had said. Aisha talked about $1,000. So the Ayutu or the Hagba that she was talking about is $1,000 a month. Floydine talked about one that is $10 a week. So it different amounts depends on the group that you organize and what the goal is. And she talked about you have this money in your hand. This is the group doing this together. You're not taking out a bank loan. You're not paying any interest. You're doing this on your own. It's empowerment and it's self-sufficiency. It's informal banking. It's a cooperative. And then we also heard Aisha talk about what it can be used for. She also mentioned education. We believe in higher education, and it is expensive right around the world. By participating in a ROSCA, or this informal type of banking, many people have been able to send their kids to post-secondary school. So you heard this example in what Floydine had mentioned, as well as what Aisha had mentioned. I think we have another banker lady here. Temi, are you there? Temi or Juliet, are you there? If not, Esther, are you there? Do you want to, I know you're wearing the two hats this evening. Do you want to give us an example of what you call a ROSCA and an example of how it works?
Okay.
Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tammy, okay, Tammy, go ahead, okay? When you finish, I go.
All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Temi, and I'm originally from Nigeria. I've been here for like 5 years, and I moved together with my friends and our families. So we've practiced ROSCAs, or we knew that our mothers practiced ROSCAs back home. And when we got here, we thought, oh, maybe we could do the same thing. And we just started amongst ourselves with a group of 4. Now we have, we participate in like 5 different groups, and the largest groups is up to 15 of us. So one of us actually used ROSCA to pay a down payment for a mortgage. So without ROSCA, it would have taken longer before she could do it, because she came in as a student and it was difficult to access loans or credit cards or anything like that. So we call it, because we're Yoruba people, we call it Ajo, where we come from, but ROSCA has been very useful for us, to the extent that we started looking at how to digitize it, because we're tech people. We apart from going to people's houses, we thought that there could be a way that we could do this online, and we started exploring that way, which is where we met Dr. Caroline from. But yeah, happy to be here, and yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Can I ask you, Temi, what size, what is the frequency? Do you contribute weekly? Do you contribute monthly? And how much are people contributing?
Yes, so the one I am right now, so I stopped doing the bi-weekly one because I just wanted to focus on the monthly one, which is 1,000. So we have 10 people in that group, or 11. So we made it 11 so that everyone can get 10,000 at the end of the payout. So that's the one I am right now. Some of my friends maintain the bi-weekly one. So the bi-weekly is like $500 bi-weekly. So we have those that we're contributing to it.
Okay, so there are 11 of you in this group. Every month, everyone puts in $1,000 into the proverbial pot. And then every month somebody gets that pot, or they get that hand. So imagine you get the first hand. So it's January, I put in $1,000. There are 10 of my sisters in this group. I get the first hand. I put in $1,000, but I am getting $10,000. That $10,000, I can buy equipment for my business. I can send my child to post-secondary, pay off tuition. I can pay for airfare and send some barrels down to the Caribbean for my mother. I can put a down payment on my mortgage. I can do whatever I want to do without incurring interest. I am in a safe space with 10 other people who I trust, who are all doing the same thing. And come February and every subsequent month, I am putting back $1,000 so somebody else gets that turn to get their $10,000 to go do what they have to do. So at the end of 11 months, when everyone's put their hand in and everyone's received $10,000, we've all saved money. So there are studies that say we're not saving money. I see a lot of research, predominantly in North America, we're not doing a very good job saving money. We're just paying. This is a forced way of savings. It's a forced way of supporting our group. And it's teaching us financial literacy, and we are not. So that's something that makes it exciting for us. Esther, are you there, Esther or
Yes,
Julia?
I'm here,
Okay.
so I'm ready to go. Yes.
Okay.
In my culture, which is also Nigeria, but Igbo, we call it susu. So women, mostly, susu is practiced by women. Women get together, they decide how much. So I witnessed my grandmother participating in susu, and I witnessed my mom and my aunties participating in susu. And the same way it is happening in every culture, is the same way it's happening everywhere. It is a group of people deciding how much they want to collect, and each month or each week, somebody will collect. So when I moved to Canada, I started the same practice with a group of some women. And I was doing one back in those days at YWC. I used to work with flooding. We were doing one then. And I was doing one with women from Nigerian community. And those women, we started with $50, and everybody would collect at the end of each month. Then we increased it to 100. Then we increased it to 200. And I always wanted to collect mine in September, like end of August, because it was coming handy for me to buy back to school items for my children. Also, I was collecting in December because I was always sending money to my family back in Nigeria. So I was strategic when I wanted to collect, so that it would help me to solve one problem or the other. And also it helped me in so many things, putting part of the money to buy a car. Unfortunately, I was hearing some of you saying that it paid their school fees, unfortunately, I wasn't in that one that paid my school fees or helped me purchase a home, but those Susu or Rosca group I belong to also supported me in one thing or the other to navigate my financial challenges. So, and the last one that I was involved in was in 2019 and 2020, before the pandemic. It was a group I belonged to, Pure Train group. We order items, and we decided to get into Susu to enable us to be ordering a lot of items. And we were all contributing 200 a month. And every month we were 10, it was like 2,000. Somebody will collect the money, and it was helping us to solve our problem. So it is a good practice if somebody can be disciplined and get involved with a group of people that you trust, so that you can be collecting depending on whatever you can handle, because you can tell some people are collecting $10. So no amount is too little, because the benefit is what matters at the end. So whatever you can contribute, if you can contribute 1,000 a month, 500 a month, 200, you form a group with some people that you trust, so that each month you're helping people. Is another a form of marketplace that support the community. So at each time somebody will benefit, and that money is helping people to solve a lot of financial issues they have. So kudos to this model of money, banking system and managing money. It helps, yeah, because it has helped a lot of people in different ways to solve their financial situations, to handle things, paying school fees, paying their marriage, purchasing home, helping your family members, and also savings. Even if you don't have any financial issue need, at least you put it in your bank account and it grows at some point. So thank you.
That's right. So this form of informal banking it's a cooperative. A ROSCA is a cooperative. It's informal banking. It's working to support one another and being self-sufficient and empowerment. So I'm going to turn this back over to the moderators to see if they have any questions or would like to learn more. So this was a brief introduction to the Banker Ladies. And as I mentioned, we are in Canada. We were women in different parts of the city or country that came together under the guidance of Dr. Caroline Shanez Hussein, who brought us together, and that's how we formalized the Banker Ladies Council. So I turn this back to our moderators.
Before you turn to moderators, I have to say that I am part of the collective diaspora, and it is also, I was referred to them by Dr. Caroline Hussein. So that's why I ended up with them. She referred me to, connected me to Omar. So, hey, Dr. Hussein.
Dr. Hussein gets the shout out. So
Yes,
wow, this was amazing. Andrea, you're an amazing moderator yourself. And you just ran a whole interview. And so this was beautiful. I don't think anybody listening, anybody watching here can walk away not having a deep understanding of what Roscas are. So thank all of you. So Mabinti, Asha, Juliet, Floydine, Esther, of course, thank you all for really bringing this and highlighting this. I know I'm certain that folks that are listening, that are watching, have questions. So what we're going to do here is I invite all of you that have any questions to write them in the chat, and then we will capture those, and then we'll be asking those questions. So I'll ask additional questions here. So I invite all of you to do that. Of course, for everyone, we had at the very beginning, there was a request for a roll call. So people shared at the very beginning, just your name, where you're from, what brought you here. So we invite you to share that as well. And we'll do our best to capture all of the questions within that. So thank you for all of that. I'll say we got a really deep understanding of Roscas. I'd like for you to share a bit about what is it that had you all form the Banker Ladies Council itself? What's the environment that you've been living with and dealing with in Canada that had you come to the point where you said, you know what, let's form this council and let's raise the issues together as the Banker Ladies Council? So just give us a little bit of background. What brought you to this point?
That's a good question. So some of us were operating in silos, not realizing that there were other people doing it. Myself, for example, the other terms used to describe it, I wasn't familiar with. I grew up with a partner. I didn't know what a susu was. I didn't know what a hug bud was. I didn't know there were other women across the country from other cultures, different religions, speaking different languages, who did the exact same thing. We thought it was like a small private thing only your family did, or your village or your community did. But once I found out that this is something that is common, it made sense to come together, learn about how other people are doing it, and strengthen that system. And in learning about how the other people are doing that, we heard some terrible stories. There is a misunderstanding and some misconceptions. Some people think it's illegal. Some people think it's a pyramid scheme. We want to educate and inform our law enforcement about and our financial institutions. Imagine getting your partner draw of $10,000, walking into the bank and just trying to deposit it. They're looking at you very suspect or suspicious. Where did you get this money? How did you come by this money? Explain yourself. The people that work in our financial institution are not familiar with this sort of informal banking. So we've heard some unpleasant stories, some harms that have happened to some of our members and other people who are participating. So coming together as the Banker Ladies Council, we now want to create the ROSCA Federation. So a group that will empower, educate, and advocate for people who are doing this form of banking. educating people in the financial sector, educating law enforcement to let them know this is perfectly legal. This is a form of informal banking, and we want to make sure that no harm or violence comes to any of our banker ladies or anyone in Araska.
I muted myself here. So this is great to know. You know, when you, and I imagine, but I'd like to hear a little more. I mean, what I'm seeing is Black women, and it was said earlier that Roscas, this is you know, a form of saving that is primarily women. So imagine when you say, you know, a Black woman shows up at the bank with $10,000, that suspicion, you know, is grounded in a whole lot of history and just a legacy of white supremacy and racism and sexism that's, you know, imagining is also there. What's been the reaction that you've gotten so far from the police, from the banks? You know, how are they treating you? How are they responding in this case?
Can I answer that?
Yes, go ahead, Aisha.
Yes. But it's 2021. It's a Dixon raid, and police, they raided Dixon. And the Dixon Somali moms, and they have a youth money. And they can't take the bank because they scared the bank. And how you have this money. And they put that in the home, and they put that, you know, someplace in the home. The police came and they raid the money, and they take the money for the moms. And they treat like criminals, like, and you know, and this is, you know, and robbery. And they said that how you keep this money? That's the why, and it's my community, and they have that situation, and we try to and fight back. And then the police, they said this money is a illegal money. We try to explain, we try to do everything, but they can't listen to us. That's the why when Caroline Shins, and she brought us about the YouTube, but the legalizing and the Rosca, I'm very happy, because still my community, sometimes I wanted to educate, to tell them, don't worry, this program is coming to the legally. That's why some people right now, they scared. If they have a YouTube, maybe they have a 20,000, they can't go to the bank. If they go to the bank, they scared the bank. When they put the home, something problem, police came, they took the money. The police 2021, they take more than 100,000 about the Somali community. And they never bring back that money, and still fighting, and still have a problem. That's why police, when they came your house, they see the money, they don't care. They think you are a drug dealer, and we can't sell the drug. You know, that's why the police, they need more educate about the Hagbet, because they don't know. This mom is $200 put every month, you know, saving. This money she's saving, maybe you have to put the home, maybe you have to buy the car, maybe you have to put your children this money she's saving, she can't. Police took it and they never bring it back. That's why police, they need more educate about the Hagbet. Thank you.
Mabinti, do you want to comment?
Yeah, thank you. The story Aisha was telling, we Black people, we look like a criminal, especially you live in the community, all Black people, they was thinking like, when we live in the community, we are criminal, we are drugs dealer. For me, I learned a lot of experience from this. I came from back home, I was doing Osusu before I came to this country. I escaped from the war before I entered in this country. And then I studied Osusu. I brought my kids, like the youngest is 2 years old, the youngest. Then I studied Osusu. When I started, I was saving money to buy furniture, to do stuff, because I didn't know how to survive in this country. Unless when I start school, I meet a group of girls and women like me, Somalia, Nigeria, Ghanaian, we all met friends. And then as time was going, we developed the Osusu because we all know each other now. We live in the same community. But my community, I live here at Jane and Finch. When he called Jane and Finch, they was thinking everybody is a criminal, is a drug stealer. So one day, I took my Osusu money. We have the money. Midnight, the cops, they come for me. They broke the door. They took everything we have in the house. And then my youngest child was 4 years. They handcuffed my son, 4 years old. The 4 years old. And my elder son, the one they killed, that time they put the gun on his head. And they shut the house. There's no drugs. And then they took everything. Later, I fight for everything. Then they tell me, no, you cannot fight. You have so many boys. If you fight, they will follow you. You have to just lie down. I said, okay. Then I leave everything because I don't know where to fight. So Osusu is the development of human health in the Black community to not do anything. When you join Osusu, it helps you. Because if you have your business, now I'm doing business, I'm selling my stuff. I'm selling different stuff. I'm selling Africa's clothing, jewelries, I'm selling some bags. I have different stuff I'm selling. That's the way I'm making my money. Some stuff they came from back home. When I sell, I save this money from the Osusu to take care of my family. Even I just, Osusu money, I join Osusu back home too. That one for problem back home, every month I send like $100 from the Osusu back home. So if anybody pass away, sickness, instead of they bother me here, I would just tell them, take the Osusu money and solve the problem. That's the way I do my Osusu. Until Osusu helped me a lot. Even when my son passed away, before I do anything, the community of the Osusu, most of them do contribution too. For me, the moment to get money to do the thing before everything handle. So like Osusu, and I thank God for the community of you guys and Dr. Caroline who since we meet. I really appreciate her for everything she done for me. I really appreciate all of you guys. I always do, and my hero in this community. And I feel proud for anything because this Osusu brought family to me. You guys are my family. You guys are my next family. And I love all of you guys. Without Osusu, I will not meet all of you guys. We start this thing, me and Dr. Caroline, like few people. I remember the boy used to come to my house with Lila daughter. They always come to my house, do the interview, we do some stuff. We're going out. Dr. Caroline will send me different places until today. Look at, I meet all of you guys. I really appreciate. Thank you so much, guys.
And we appreciate you, Mabinti. Thank you for that. So what you just heard two examples and they sort of take your breath away. Two examples of women in our Banker Ladies Council whose money has been confiscated. So we're in Canada, as I mentioned. Specifically, we're in the province of Ontario. So there's something called the Ontario Remedies Act, where by law, your money can be confiscated. They can ask you, where did you get this money? And if they're not satisfied with the response, they can take it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me tell you a point of, I've been saving this money on CIBC, on my bank. I've been like for 19 years. I've been putting this money. I save this money for over, I get like this money, like anytime the money will fall, the money will rise, the money will fall. So last month I decided to get my money. My money I was saving like almost like $9,000. The last time when I checked, the money go down like $7,000. I say, how come this happened? They were telling me, oh, this. I said, no, you're not supposed to be this. How come something was there. Then I tell them I want my money. Can you imagine? They ask me, why I'm taking the money for? I say, it's my money, I want it. They couldn't give me all of the money. How much they give me first? They give me $3,000. They say next month they will put the other 3,000. That's the way I'm gonna get the money. I have to fight for the guy, the lady. I say, this is my money. I've been in this bank for how many years? I was saving this money. I was thinking I'm doing myself favor. I need this money for education. My son is going to college, to university this year. He just graduates. I need my money. I was fighting with them. Up to now, I didn't get the balance money, the 4,000 they say they get for me. So I tell her, that's it. I stop them. I say, no money, no more. I'm not doing no collect, nothing to take any more money. I don't want to do anything because I'm tired to fight with you guys. So I stopped them. I said, I don't do anything anymore.
So there are people fighting for their money. And as you heard, money that's been being confiscated.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Mabinti, for being open and just sharing with us what you've been through. It's a lot. And we've got over-policed Black neighborhoods in too many places. I'm here, I'm in New York. I live in the South Bronx, and police confiscating property and doing indiscriminate raids in Black neighborhoods is something that we see here often. So I've heard similar stories. So this brings up. I'm wondering. I've heard Dr. Hussein speak often, and it's been wonderful getting an education from her. And so I'm really excited that we've been able to connect and have you here to really see and hear how this is happening. I'm curious, and we've got a few questions that have come up related to a bit more of the mechanics of how susus and roscas in general operate. I'm curious though, what's been the response from the formal cooperative and cooperative movement in Canada? Is this something that has been embraced, or roscas embraced by cooperative institutions and associations in Canada, or not?
Floydine or Esther, I'm going to throw that one to you.
I'll defer to the youth on the call. Esther.
Like a hot potato. Who wants
Esther?
to take?
Yes. There is no formal system around this. It is just those women who are cooperatives doing something within their means to support each other. Also practicing Rosca and Susu to help them with their businesses. But I don't know of any formal banking system that is using this model. But the only banking system close to this that is supporting them is the Altana Bank. Altana Bank and also Meridian Bank are the only two banks that are supporting cooperatives and women-owned business that help them to. I know Altana used to, I don't know if they still have this special whereby when they open accounts with them, they give them certain amounts of money, encouraging them. And it is the only bank where majority of our co-op women open their bank accounts due to that specific incentive they are giving to them to open bank accounts. And they require they have minimum requirements, unlike traditional banking system that we need a lot of information from them. So that's the only thing I know. But those women are also doing Roscoe kind of model, using it for their business to help them to save money, to support their work.
Okay.
And Juliet, if you're there, do you want to add something? Because I know you speak a lot to co-ops. I'm hoping you're there.
Thanks a lot, Andrea, and
Oh.
thanks everyone. Collective Diaspora, this has been an awesome session. So to the question around the formal cooperative sector and how, you know, their response more or less to the ROSCA model, I would say that when we started, which was, I mean, since 2010, we've been formally running ROSCAs with different groups, right? Not just Black women, but with other communities. Then there was no formal awareness, so to speak. However, I've noticed that over the past few years, with the work that Dr. Caroline Hussein has been doing, a lot of speaking, a lot of creating opportunities and platforms for us to speak to the formal cooperative sector. My takeaway now is that there's now that growing recognition. For instance, the Ontario Cooperative Association is very much aligned with the work that Dr. Caroline is doing with ROSCA, with the banker ladies, and have been very supportive, and now lists ROSCAs as part of informal cooperatives, right? When they talk about the cooperative ecosystem, that's a huge win. Another thing is, even with the Canadian, the Center for Studies in Cooperation, they now include, you know, from our community, like the banker ladies, they call people to come speak to this. We're finding more and more formal cooperative sector players and even credit unions are beginning to reach out to ask around, what does the ROSCA model mean? And where's the opportunity for synergy? Just like Esther had mentioned, credit unions that really do deserve like a shout out and, you know, appreciation, Meridian, Alterna, for stepping up, right, to working with us and helping in this process of formalizing it. I'm currently in Vancouver. They had the World Credit Union conference, right? And in one of the credit union leadership program that I was a part of, I was also invited to speak about ROSCA. And this is to cooperators from across the world and even in Canada. So overall, I'd like to say that the work that Dr. Caroline is doing has far-reaching impact. We're really just really grateful to be a part of this collective, right? Because she grounds it in the theory, with the academic language that we can now use to interface with that cooperative sector. And so the work now is really around the education, right? A lot of what Andrea has been talking about, educating the formal financial institution, educating law enforcement, getting more people that are active participants of ROSCAs to realize now that there's going to be a ROSCA federation that will protect them, right? That will protect what they're doing. And so the work is really this work that all of us are doing. And again, finally, I want to end by thanking the Collective Diaspora. This platform that you've given us to share our lived experiences, I think that's the greatest thing that will break down the walls with the formal cooperative sector. Canada has a rich history of credit union cooperatives that are rooted in systems similar to ROSCA. So it is left to us to call them out if there's any hypocrisy, if there's any harm, to say we belong in this space. This works for us, and we will continue to amplify that. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you for saying that and sharing what you shared earlier. I was wondering myself, because I've been in the co-op space for a cooperative space for a long time. Remember recently I think there was a study commissioned by the International Cooperative Alliance that was looking at cooperatives around the world. And the numbers from Africa, what was highlighted, that Africa was low, but I looked at the numbers and the numbers just didn't make any sense. I don't remember what they were, but whatever they were was just ridiculous. And as like with the amount of ROSCAs in every community, like there's no way that Africa could have the lowest number of cooperatives of all continents. So, thank you for just doing this awareness raising. Thank you, Dr. Hussein, for doing this awareness raising, because this is really the thing that really makes the difference.
And Omar, to answer that question, it is because it is informal for them, and also nobody documents it. Unlike what we are doing in Canada, United States, UK, and elsewhere, those people in Africa, they practice susu, calling it different name, but there is no documentation to show, and it is not publicized. So that's why they have that figure due to lack of knowledge, data to back it up, and people not speaking about it.
Certainly. So we got a few minutes left. There were some questions that were already answered. So there was a question about what happens if you have people with different capacity to pay and what that looks like. And I heard Asha shared beautifully early on about how, in some roscas will take on people at different levels and just find other people to be able to match them at the amount that they're able to pay. So we heard a bit of that. There was something else. We had a question from Lauren that I'm sure is on many people's mind. What happens when people stop paying?
Oh,
That's a question of trust. So what happens when someone stops paying?
Can I jump?
Can I?
go ahead.
Yeah. And the people, if they don't stop the paying, we have to, because everybody, those 10 people and 2 people, I know them, those people, I know them, I'm the responsible. Everybody, 10 people, one of them is the responsible. If that person stopped paying money, we have to go the people, that person responsible. And we ask them, these people, you bring it us, and we need the money for you. That's why we can take everybody. 10 people, maybe I know 3 people, and maybe other people, they know maybe 2 people. And then when we starting, we have to tell them, okay, you, Asha, you're responsible of those 3 people. If they don't pay money, you pay the money. That's the why, if you don't pay the money, stop the money, I'm not worried. I have to go, the person bring to you, and I ask that people's money. And then that person, when they finish for the hikbat, we can't take anymore. We said that this person can pay the ayuta, we can't take you anymore. And then we don't have everybody, you have to be tell, because my community, mouth to mouth, we have to say that that person is not good person. That's why every people, and kicking you and said that no, because that group, they tell us you don't pay the money. That's why the way our hagbad is work. I don't know the Susu, the way they work, but my hagbad is work. If you don't pay, we go, the person is the responsible for you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a Floydine. You had a hand up, and then we're actually going to have to close out. I know this has been beautiful.
Yeah, I was just going to say it really depends on the susu that you're in, because they all have their own set of rules, and it's determined by that, really. Like I was in a susu when I was growing up where they were operating by checks. 1 check bounce, that's it, you're gone. In others, you're a little bit more forgiving, but ultimately, if a person stops paying, they either go to the end in the next round, or they don't come back, just like Asha said. But I think really overall, it depends on the structure of your susu. Like even for me, there are no cash transactions in any of the susus I'm in. They're all done electronically, for example, right? So when we know up front who's doing what, and then if there's an issue, then the banker lady steps in and addresses the person or persons who have fallen behind, try to find that out, and then figure out how to solve it there.
Thank you. And Mike was summarizing in the chat, the diaspora been cooperating. And basically, you set up a set up a catastrophic plan and clear agreements before the inevitable conflict arises, because it will occur. And that's what I'm hearing here. These cooperatives, like all cooperatives, are built on trust and built on relationships. And this is the fundamental distinction that we see between capitalist enterprises that aren't built on relationships and often break relationships. So, it's beautiful to have that you laid this out and laid this out really beautifully and clearly. I wish we could go on and keep going, but we've actually got to stop. Interpreters have a time limit. And so we're honoring that, and we're honoring everybody's time that showed up and is here tonight. We want to thank everyone for joining us and being a part of this. This is put on by Collective Diaspora. And so we're here to create platforms like this. So in order for this to keep going, and we certainly want everyone's support, and we encourage you to join, to sign up. We have here a page for anyone to donate. So we invite you to donate to continue and support this kind of work. Unfortunately, Black cooperative movement building work and just general cooperative movement building work isn't something that's popular and funded. So, we're really building a movement here. So we're looking for support from our own community to be able to do this. And so whatever kind of support you want to offer to the Banker Ladies Council and the Rosca Federation that is being developed and growing across Canada, we invite you to get in touch with them. There was a link, if you could put in somebody from Banker Ladies Council, just put in your contact for everyone to reach out to. And Dr. Hussein says, shout out to the Dice Collective. And so that's a whole network. Dr. Hussein, Caroline Shanaz Hussein, rolls deep and has a whole crew called the Dice Collective. And so a bunch of feminist academic women doing this work, and we've really been lifting this up. So I encourage all of you to support all of these efforts that are happening, and bring the Banker Ladies Council to your group, to your Zoom call, to your network, so that this message can keep getting out. We can let folks know that Roscas are co-ops, these are cooperatives, and that these are serious, and this is a powerful way of community development and building money and retaining wealth in our communities. Thank you all for joining us. And so with that,
thank you so much.
Have a great and a beautiful night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye,
See you again.
Bye,
Bye.
Esther.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Esther. Great job,
Caroline.
Andrea.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye,
Bye,
Missy.
Tammy.
Bye, Aisha.
Bye.
Bye, Aisha. Bye, Vicente. Thank you, Omar.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Bye, Floydine. Thank you.
Lisa, see you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Tammy.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Night, night.
Bye.